Have to tell you about the whole ordeal with my dogs and my daughter's dogs. So I've been babysitting my um, three grandkids and their two dogs for a week. And they have their own little yard with a doggy door in my house. And in the very beginning, when I first moved in, my dogs had tried to dig in this one little section and I put rocks there. So they stopped digging. My dogs never did it. And this one little section is what backs up to just land where there's coyotes and bobcats and mountain lions back there, right? I don't go back there ever. And so I walk in the house with the kids after dropping off the oldest at school and realize there's only one dog. There should be four. And so I'm really proud of the one. I think she was probably telling the other three that like they were being naughty and shouldn't be, right? So she stuck around, thankfully. And the other one of my daughter's dog, had dug a hole underneath the fence and they all three got out. So it took me about an hour and a half to find the littlest one, which was my daughter's dog. And then I actually found her twice. And I drive a Lexus and it's all-wheel drive. I don't know anything about four-wheel driving. I'll have to include one of the videos that of me screaming bloody murder. Might have to bleep out a few words because I think I may have cussed a couple times. Sorry. I was a little scared going up this hill and then back down this hill, and I'm in my little Lexus, you know, it's kind of low to the ground. Should not have been on these dirt roads looking for these dogs. Anyways, so at one point I'm driving towards the little dog and I'm calling for her and telling her to stop, and I keep stopping the car and getting out and trying to call for her, and she just runs the opposite way. And then eventually I get to a part where the road is kind of washed out a little bit. If I had been in like a four-wheel drive truck, I probably would have been able to make it, no big deal. But I was like, I don't know what my car is capable of. This is not like the car that you would normally take out four-wheeling. So then I had to just leave her, come back around a different way. By the time I get there, she's gone. So I find her about half an hour later, and she is trying to jump like the 8-foot fence, and she's a smaller dog and only getting about halfway up, which was pretty hilarious. I might have to look at my cameras on that. I might have that one on video. So I get her, right? So now I'm missing two dogs. I'm missing my dog and my daughter's dog, the one that was the culprit to begin with. So about 5-6 hours into this, we take a break, and every time we're driving with the kids, I've got the 9-month-old baby in the car, and she has figured out that if she just goes, her voice will go, and she gets upset every time I go out on like the freeway to switch to a different dirt road because her voice isn't doing that. So normally she hates being in a car seat, and she just absolutely loved it. She was just having a blast. She would either fall asleep or be doing that, which was hilarious. So still can't find the other two, haven't even spotted them, and I'm just driving all kinds of dirt roads trying to figure out which direction to go, and it's just miles and miles and miles of land that I can drive on and look, and it's just sagebrush everywhere, and these sticker bush things, right? And wild horses, and you know, I'm seeing like bunnies and little chipmunk things and things like that, but you know, I'm not seeing any dogs. And so we go to take a break, and my oldest granddaughter all of a sudden just goes, Nana, there's Mia. That's my dog. I'm like, what? And I look, and there she is. And she's normally the type of dog that will just automatically come to me. And instead, she's like, nope. And she just books it. She manages to get underneath a fence and heads towards the freeway. So long story short, I go over there and I don't see her, and somebody tells me just saw her by the freeway. She's about to get hit by a car. And so I go over there, I see some cars pulled over. Thank God for this lady. I gave her a big hug. I was so thankful for her. She was like trying to coax her to come towards her. She had a leash in her hand. And luckily this time I had a hot dog in my hand, and I just said, Mia, treat? And she instantly, I think she was so exhausted. She was like, yep, I want the treat. So I gave her the hot dog. She gets in the car, and normally she's like, you know, jumping all over the place, excited to be in the car. None of that. She just like immediately put her head down on the center console of the car and just panting nonstop. She was so exhausted. So now still have one dog missing, right? So drive around for a couple more, go home, feed the kids really quick, go out and drive for a couple more hours because the kids wanting to keep trying because this is now their dog that is out there missing. And so at one point, so finally like 8 o'clock at night comes around. It's now getting dark. I can't see. Keep in mind, I don't know how to drive on like four-wheeling. I really don't have any experience. I've been four-wheeling, but somebody else was always doing the driving. It wasn't me. You know, and I'm like, okay, definitely need to be able to see where I'm going to do this. I probably shouldn't even be on these roads. Most of these are probably for, you know, ATVs and stuff. And so finally I had to tell him, sorry guys, we have to go home. You know, and my you know, I'd stop and ask a guy, like, hey, have you seen him? No, I haven't seen him, but I just saw a bobcat here 2 weeks ago, and all the kids are in the car and going, Nana, what's a bobcat? I'm like, it's just a small, big kitty cat. I'm not like, oh, yeah, this is the cat that's going to eat your dog. So I'm already freaking out, like, okay, I really wanted to have her back before it got dark. I do not want her back here come dark time, nighttime. So get home, I open up my window in my bedroom, and I have the back gate open. I filled up the hole that they dug because I have 2 different yards. They have the dog yard and then my yard. That's for my gardening and stuff. And so I've opened up the gate to my yard that opens up back there, and then filled in that hole so that other dogs could go out and go potty and everything, right? And I have a little camera, and I've put the camera outside. That's normally my indoor camera, and I put it outside on the porch so that my daughter and my son-in-law can keep watching the cameras periodically, right? And can kind of help see if they see her come in. They can like kind of alert me, that kind of thing. So fall asleep, 11 o'clock, all of a sudden one of the dogs alerts inside the house, alerts me something's going on outside, right? So I jump up, I run out there, I go look at the gate. The wind had blown the gate shut, right? And all I'm hearing are coyotes, like going crazy. And I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, they're eating Zoe. Oh my gosh, they're excited because they just got a meal, right? And so I put a rock in front of the gate just in case, you know, and so I go back inside, and I go to bed. All of a sudden I'm hearing dog whining, and I'm like, what is that? Okay, I need to get back up and go check. And so then I go check, and I come back in, and my daughter calls, and she said, oh my gosh, I thought you were sleeping. We'll have to, I was about to call you and see if you needed to call 911 because I saw you walk in the door, but I didn't realize it was you. So I kind of felt bad about that. So I go back to bed, right? Well, at that point I was like, okay, maybe the whining I was hearing, it was coming right around the area where my 2 German Shepherds were standing, and I'll just lock them up in the kids' room with them, right? So I go back and lay down. All of a sudden I'm hearing this whining and barking again, and I'm like, that really sounds like Zoe. And so I jump up, and my daughter calls me because she's watching the camera. She's like, that sounds like Zoe. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, I don't know where else to look though. And she's like, do you think she dug a hole back into the yard? And I'm like, hadn't even dawned on me that she could do that, right? I'm like, is that possible? Like, she'd figure out where to dig the hole again? And so I'm like, okay, let me go open up the doggy door because I've got it closed at this point because I do not trust you guys, you dogs, to go out there on your own right now until I figure out ways to make it so you can't dig, right? And so I open up the dog door, and here she comes, just walking right on in. Totally exhausted, she did hurt her paw a little bit. She cut her paw, but otherwise totally fine. My guess is once it started to get dark, she had to try to figure out how to make her way home. Probably got a little bit scared because of some of the things out there. But thank the Lord, our prayers were answered, and she came home. So that was our interesting adventure. So sorry for making this so long. Thanks for listening. Bye.